The statistics tell the story because there is an orgasm gap that tells us women are good in bed and men are bad in bed. Okay. So a huge US sample of 52,000 found that 95% of heterosexual men said they usually or always orgasmed during sexual encounters, compared with only 65%. That's a little over half of heterosexual women. Heterosexual women reported orgasm much less frequently than lesbian women, 65% versus 86%. How the are 95% of y'all orgasming and women are not orgasming with you? Like, so it's kind of like flipping a coin, whether you're even going to come or not, which a lot of men would not take that deal. Welcome to the Audacity, the podcast where no topic is too taboo and no man is safe. My name is Lisa, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, the Sovereign Woman.
Hey, hi.
And we have a great show, as always, for y'all, and the hottest tea. So today we're discussing a topic I'm sure most men would rather we didn't, which is, have men always been bad at sex, or is this a recent development? For tea time, we'll be discussing the latest FAA hiring tactics, which are genuinely terrifying. We'll be reacting to a video of a man who thinks being gay is a choice. And we're going to talk about the outcome of the Justin Baldoni New York Times lawsuit, just briefly covering the outcome. Later, we'll return with one of our favorite discussions, tea or trash, where we decide whether current trending feminist aesthetics are tea or trash. And we'll be starting with discussion of motherhood regrets. And if you're able, please join us later for the Crumpets mini show. We will be playing Fuck, Marry, Kill, starting with men who give off divorced dad energy. Guy Fieri, Pitbull, Vin Diesel. To get our Crumpets mini show, make sure you sign up for a membership on our YouTube or Patreon, and make sure you check out our merch. Now I'm going to pass you off to Sovereign, who's going to tell you all about our Patreon.
Yeah, if you have not joined our Patreon, go over to patreon.com/audacity, where you can get perks like early access to every episode and the show notes, ad-free listening or viewing, our weekly bonus unhinged and uncensored Crumpets after show, Sovereign and Lisa After Dark, if you will. Yes. And you'll get priority mailbag, topic submissions, and you can get voting power on future topics. And most importantly, you'll get access to our private women's only community and chat channels just for you. So that's patreon.com/audacity. Make sure you join today.
Thank you, Sovereign. We'll see y'all there. Well, let's have some of our tea. I want to just get one thing out of the way really quick, which is the Justin Baldoni New York Times lawsuit. And if you haven't heard of this, it's honestly too, I'm not going to explain it to you now, but let's just say that there was a attempted narrative of like a he said, she said, and it really only worked because we are so readily available to be misogynistic as a society, in my opinion, which is why typically I'll come out and kind of stand on the woman's side, like regardless, whenever these things are happening, because I just refuse to contribute to the normalized like way that we talk about women and the way that we are so quick to jump on women as like, she's not really a victim and she must be lying. And, you know, this man is so great. And like, how could anyone, you know, think that he could do such a thing? And it's like, men have learned to mask. We talk about this a lot of men that are self-proclaimed like feminists and kind of lean into that whole thing of like, yeah, like masculinity is great, like positive masculinity, blah, blah, blah. They are oftentimes doing that as a tactic. Unfortunately, like I wish I could sit here and say that men are doing this stuff in good faith because they think feminism is necessary and they love women and women's rights. But unfortunately, a lot of times it's just a cover for them to say, no, I couldn't have possibly done that. I'm such a feminist. I have a podcast with Liz Plank and and like I do all this stuff. I'm directing a movie about domestic violence and he can still be a piece of shit. Okay. So I don't know if we want to put up the tear sheet. Basically, we were told that For 2 years, the headline says, for 2 years, we were told the New York Times story about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni was a lie. The court record showed it was true. And I think this is just, again, important to cover in an age where we do have these, tactics that men can use, like hiring these PR firms to start false narratives online and to like malign women online and bury, quote unquote, as Justin Baldoni said, he wanted to bury Blake Lively. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what he attempted to do. And, the fact that people were so eagerly talking about, yeah, Blake is a liar and da-da-da. But during the court case, you guys have to realize like they can't say stuff. They can't claim things that are not actually true. So they couldn't go into that courtroom and say that she lied about any of it. Like you won't see any of that on the record because you can't admit that to court record because it's not actually true. And if they find out that it's not actually true, then you'll get in trouble. So anyways, he has to pay New York Times a huge sum of money now. Yeah, because he tried to lie on their name as a publication.
Wow.
So just know that men are going to be coming out with these kinds of tactics because they have seen how much they can sway the public opinion rather than having to actually fight and present evidence in court. But luckily, the court still does require evidence to make any kind of judgment. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Like real quick, it's just interesting how a lot of women, the victim in their own lives, when they go through things with men or when they go through things at work. And so it's very weird that it's so hard for those same women to see other women as victims. Like it's like if men have lied to you and have played you for a fool and have put you in uncomfortable situations. Why is it so hard to believe that that's not happening to other women? That's the part that just boggles my mind. But, I think it's just the male-centeredness of
usually
women.
they think the man is sexy.
Why is this?
Yeah.
Huh?
They think the man is sexy. Like he's attractive.
Yeah, because he looks good. There's no way that he could, do this or do that. Like those be the main ones.
I know.
The main
really
ones you
are.
need to watch out for. Are you kidding me? And they know it. The men like that know that they can get away with stuff because they're like, oh, everybody thinks I'm attractive or everybody thinks I'm rich or everybody think those are the main ones.
Absolutely.
Literally.
Yes. And that was part of like what people were saying about Blake Lively. Like when they were listening to some creepy voicemail that he left her at 2 a.m., they're like, oh, see, I think this is so hot. Like, of course, she wanted to F him and then now she's mad because he must have rejected her. And it's like, oh my God, he was literally sexually harassing her. He was literally talking about the kind of porn he likes to watch. Like,
since when do celebrity men reject anybody? I mean, let's be real.
Right. That person.
Especially somebody that's hot. Somebody that's like pretty, like y'all are working together on a set. Like there is no way that you're just like, no, stay, get thee behind me, Satan. Like you're not doing that. Like stop it.
Right. It's like he was coming into her trailer while she was breastfeeding and like having conversation, like,
oh my God.
or breast pumping or whatever. Like, no, like he was not the victim in all of this. And they're like, yeah, she's trying to discredit him. Yeah, I'm glad he should be discredited. Yeah. Like, yes.
What reason would she have to do that? Like, why?
Yeah. She's worked with like so many people and has never tried to,
that's what I'm saying. She could have did that to anybody.
It's crazy. Crazy. Anyways, congratulations to, I guess, Justin Baldoni. You got to pay all that money to, I hope it was worth it.
God, lovely. I'm so glad. I think I'll sleep better tonight knowing that.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. All right, let's watch this super funny clip that I think you will really enjoy. So check this one out.
I think you really believe in Jesus and God, but it's just for your friends here.
If I wanted to grift being a Christian, I would be more successful.
Oh, the gay rates are going like really high.
Huh? No, what?
Gay people don't believe in God, and there's a lot more gay people this year than there's ever been in, like, I think, in the U.S. So it's like, yeah, you definitely make a lot. Yeah, just everywhere I turn now, I'm seeing gay people. It's sad, honestly. It's like a genocide against humanity. Seriously, you're getting rid of all the children and future children. Yeah, that's what it is. Future children. Yeah.
I can't make you be attracted to a man in the way that you can't make women be attracted to a man as well.
You actually can choose your attraction. That I can definitely choose if I really wanted to. So that's not true. You can choose.
Oh shit. Okay, what kind of dude would you choose?
All I'm saying is I watched Once Upon a Hollywood. Brad Pitt. That's the truth, and it's not nothing crazy, and it's a choice. It's all a choice. I choose not to because I want to have kids. I want to have a family. So it's like, no, man, no.
Oh my God. That is.
But I can, it's a choice for sure. Because if I really wanted to, I'll go out my way to find a guy and marry a guy. Which I won't because, I'm Christian.
Are you attracted to women?
Yeah. Always been attracted to women.
So you're bi?
No.
The way she just let him
hang himself, basically.
Yes. Oh, that was the best part. She just stopped talking for a while and was like,
I didn't know where that was going, but when he said, it's actually sad. I'm seeing gay people everywhere. I knew it in my mind. I'm like, he's mad. Like he wishes
he's not
he wants to be out there. He wishes he had the courage to. I seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Brad Pitt, like, come on, you are so, I just can't. Oh my God.
It's always the ones that are the most mad. I just saw somebody talking about it's always like the most like low income, like low IQ. Low IQ people that are like racist too. It's always like you wish, like you're just mad, like you're just so mad. But yeah,
how is seeing gay people everywhere sad? Like how is that? What about that is sad? Like
because you can't join them. You can't join your people.
I know, but I'm saying like how could like out of all things that's the word you chose is sad.
I know.
Like
it makes me happy because I think like more men are out and like that's great for everybody.
It is. It's safer. It makes for a healthier, happier, like mentally, like people that can just be free to just be who they are. Like, oh my God, it's sad actually because you're mad.
Yeah, he's like, because like there's no more kids. Like I have to like to any men who are like so concerned, like, please, we do not need your services. Like, we do not need your services to like repopulate the earth, especially if it's going to cause you to stay closeted. Like, you are fine. Like, take that burden off. We do not need you to repopulate the earth at all. Like, not, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not attracted to women in that way, and like, that's going to be the only reason that you continue identifying as straight is because you feel like you have some obligation to create new people. You don't.
I feel sorry for whatever woman he's with.
That's what I'm saying.
After he has children, he's going to feel like he's done what he was supposed to do. So now what? And you know what I mean? Now he's going to want to, and not to mention, if Brad Pitt called him up right now.
I was going to say. Like, it's a hypothetical until it isn't, you know?
Exactly.
Like, what would you say? What would you say? What if there was a good looking guy, you know? And it's like, if you're wondering, just
try it out.
Just don't wonder. Yeah. Like, if you really think it's a choice, that's a pretty good indicator that you are gay. Like, I don't know what I'm saying.
Totally.
I mean,
I know
like,
exactly what you mean.
It's like, that's a pretty good indicator. If you're like, oh, I have to choose every day to be straight,
then that means
it's not how it works. I don't have to wake up and choose that. I've never had to wake up and choose that.
People who are like radically straight, it's like blinking our eyes. It's nothing.
Yeah.
Like it's not
nothing.
even.
You don't think about it at all.
It's facts.
At all. So, just a PSA. If you do think that you have to like wake up and force yourself into a certain orientation every day, it's probably not the one you're meant to be.
Absolutely.
So, just a helpful tip. But yeah,
sad actually. That's sad. Not
Can you
being able to live in
imagine
your
like
truth is sad.
Yeah, and he's just out here walking around thinking like other people are just as miserable as he is, having to wake up and force themselves into being straight every day. And he's so bitter that the gay people get to just wake up and be who they are.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my gosh, it really does not get any sadder than that.
I think that's
it
the
really
number
doesn't.
one driver behind homophobia for men is that they have a secret envy of the bravery. I think it takes
absolutely
courage in a society like this that will demonize you, hurt you, kill you.
One of the
beat
manliest things you can do.
Yeah, I feel like exactly. That's why I feel so much respect for like the ones that are just like, look, this is who I am. You can get over it. You don't like it, go to hell. You know, they're unapologetic. I love it.
As they should be. And it's like proves that so many of these men are like, way more submissive to the patriarchy than they would ever think, because it's like, that's what you're really afraid of. Like, you're afraid of breaking the patriarchal mold. And that's the very thing that's hurting you. That's the very thing that's making you feel like you can't just be the sexuality that you are.
Yep.
You can't just be with who you want to be with. And it's like, you just don't understand that, like, at the root of all of that is you essentially hating yourself, because you hate the idea of like being likened to a woman, or like in the same position as a woman, like submissive or whatever. And it's like, I hate to tell you this, you're already submissive to the patriarchy.
Facts.
Like, you're
100%.
already afraid of the thing that you despise. Like, you know, it's like such a backwards, like, you're never in your right mind. Like, that's why the conversation with him was already so low IQ to begin.
Right,
Gay
it
people
was.
are everywhere. There's more gay people this year than there was last year. Like, well, God forbid.
And he's like, oh, I really
was there
secretly
more?
wish I can join them, but I can't.
Yeah,
And so because
yeah.
I can't, I'm going to condemn it because I can't. I don't have the courage to be who I am. So let me demonize everybody else.
It's
Who does have the
coward
courage? It's
behavior.
really sad.
Absolutely terrible. So, yeah. Well, speaking of absolutely terrible, y'all may not want to get on a plane anytime soon, because we have an update from our secretary. Okay, so Secretary Sean Duffy says, game changer. In April, we launched a new campaign to recruit video gamers as air traffic controllers.
Oh my God.
And super...
What?
These people are ruining our lives like every second of every day. Like, what the fuck? And supercharge the entire hiring process to get the best and brightest, I'm sorry, in faster. The results are historic. 94% of hiring goal met. Fastest time ever to reach the target. 2,000 plus hired, the most in a single year. 2,000 plus best and brightest candidates in the pipeline, reaching the academy quicker than any class before them, thanks to the most streamlined hiring process. So basically, they took all the regulations off of the hiring process. They took all the requirements off, and now they're just recruiting like basement dwellers to do air traffic control, which is one of the most like hardest, stressful jobs. Like, you can't even work that job after you turn 35 or something.
Is this real? Is it they really do this?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Because remember,
I
they
thought this was a
fired.
joke.
Remember they fired a bunch of air traffic controllers.
I remember.
So, and like, there's been a lot of like airport confusion since, like, they're grounding flights.
Yeah.
They're like moving flights like crazy. That's because there's been a shortage. And so now they're bragging about hiring all these people. But it's like, the part you have to pay attention to is this streamlined hiring process. What does that mean? First of all, he clearly wrote that using ChatGPT. First of all.
Really?
Second of all,
I didn't pay
yes.
attention.
This is the real Secretary of Transportation, real tweet, everything. But yeah, so I think they're basically taking a lot of safeguards out of the process and just letting like onboarding people quickly. But like, I don't know if you know much about air traffic control. I have a bunch of family members who work in air traffic control. And it's the kind of thing where like, you have to take like a break like every 30 minutes or something like that. Like, it's a very stressful job.
Yeah.
And like I don't see how playing video games prepares you for that, because these are real life consequences. This is not a video game.
I'm trying to salvage this because I don't think don't get me wrong, it can't be salvaged.
Listen.
The only way this makes sense to me is, and it's making me think of those movies where the CIA or some like high intelligence corporation recruits these really techie.
You're thinking of like Ready Player One?
Wait, what's that?
I mean, that's kind of what you're describing. But yeah, go on.
But
they're
probably
recruiting. Yeah, they're trying to put it
they're
like
recruiting these gamers or whoever, but they're really actually really high tech. Like they are like really, they're the tech guys. You know how every movie has a tech guy who knows how to do all the computer this and whatever.
I think that's propaganda.
I know, but I'm just.
I don't think men are that smart.
I know. That's the only way I could ever make this make sense. It's like, did y'all recruit like the actual smart nerds that play? Because there's a bunch of flat out dummies that just play games all day, and then you got the ones that are like super smart that play the game.
Okay, it's the Trump administration. Which one do you think? Which one do you think it is? Like realistically, how do you know what
I don't
I
want to
mean?
accept this. No, this is not happening.
Cancel your
I'm trying to play
travel
devil's
plans.
advocate. Come on, listen. I wasn't getting on the plane anytime soon anyway because of everything that remember earlier this year, all the planes that this year or was that last year? All the planes that were crashing, and
that was the FAA thing. That's what they're trying to fix.
So I wasn't getting on the plane anyway. But I don't think people understand how important air traffic controller job is. Like they keep the planes in the sky. So if you wonder why the planes aren't crashing and why they're this
into
and that,
each other,
it's because
like,
air traffic control is what's making you get from Oregon to Miami like safely. Air traffic control is the reason why you're able to get to where you got to. If you wonder,
it's a very high qualification
very
job.
important.
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm getting anxiety thinking about that. Like,
no, seriously.
I couldn't even get on a plane right now thinking, oh my God. Because I used to always have these, when I became a flight attendant, I was already like on the edge because of the videos they used to show us, like, the plane crashed because somebody forgot to de-ice. The plane crashed on takeoff because they forgot to de-ice the plane. So when the ice was on the plane, the wind hits the wings a certain way to keep the airplane flying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so somebody forgot to de-ice the planes. And so to this very day, that's why I don't fly in the winter. And this was back in 2007 when I learned this when I was in flight attendant school. That information, knowing that somebody could just forget to de-ice the planes today, is why I don't fly in the winter. And that's a real thing for me. So this, like, oh my God, I can't. Okay.
Imagine,
I'm
like,
done.
literally they have a bunch of...
I'm trying to believe that they recruited the super techie, high-tech guys who created, the scientists who built the airplanes.
Yes. Well, let's call it that. Let's call it that for all the people who have to travel, for work or other reasons.
Right.
That's what you need to believe.
Yeah.
Just name it and claim it. Like at this point, your positive mindset is your best friend because you can't actually exist in reality without it. I know. All right. Well, we will be right back to answer a very important question that I think a lot of women are probably asking, which is, have men always been terrible at sex? Or is that a new development in the 21st century? So let's find out when we return. Welcome back. Let's talk about whether men have always been terrible in bed or whether that has been something that's come about recently. And I have a lot of thoughts on this. I think we're going to cover mostly the stuff that's been that can be backed up by statistics and data and everything like that, because I have a feeling that if any men see this video, there's going to be a lot of arguing in the comments and a lot of devil's advocate activity in the comments. But yeah, I mean, something about today's men and something about the statistics that we've looked up is just really giving doesn't know how to please a woman in bed. Like a lot of the stuff that men come out and talk about online and the way that they talk about women, especially some of these male dating gurus, it's like you listen to them talk and it's like, oh, I don't think you like women. I don't think you like sex with women. I don't think you understand the intricacies of female pleasure. I don't think you understand what is directly connected to all of that, relationally wise, And I think that men have this, I think it comes back to kind of the cultural idea of what it is to be a man, right? When you really think about it, the way that men will think of sex is mostly comparing themselves to other men. It's like they want to come off as dominant. They want to come off as knowledgeable. They want to come off as a king gorilla in bed, and there's really no...
Not king gorilla.
And they just don't feel manly. I feel like something about being good at sex and then something about being masculine is not... is not like a good match. So I really want to dig into that. I think this will be a really like fun topic to discuss. And again, we brought the receipts, we brought the statistics. So forgive me, Sovereign, if I just kind of jump in.
No, go ahead.
Because I think our points are largely the same, but then I just went and like looked up the research to back it up. So what do you think the answer to the question is? Like, have men always been like this, or is this a new phenomenon?
I think it might be a little bit of both. A lot of men have always been sort of misogynistic in that way where it's like, I only care about my pleasure and not hers. But then I think back in the day when men felt like women had to rely on them, and back when there was chivalry and men tried and actually put effort into their look and put effort into getting the woman, getting the date, I think men had an incentive to at least try, and I'm not saying all men, I'm saying just as a group, like a certain percentage of men, to at least try to learn a woman and learn how to please a woman because they didn't feel emasculated because she was a damsel in distress, and you know, she couldn't have her own bank account and she couldn't this and couldn't that. And I think because now women are like going their own way. Like women really are going our own way. Like men say they were, but women are really like, look, I'm going to college, I'm traveling, I'm buying homes, I'm doing all these things. And so women don't need the men in that way. And so I think that's just another way that men feel emasculated. So it's like, I can't measure up to this woman. I can't measure up to her success. I can still fuck her though. But I don't have any desire to like learn her or to try to figure out how to please her. I really just want to get off. And I think it kind of translated to like a way, like a mental power move on their part. I think some men feel powerful knowing that I'm getting off and I don't care if she does. Does that make sense? Like I think there are some guys that get off on that.
I was going to say that's actually a really incredible point because a lot of people have pointed out just how like pornography has changed even over the years, where like if you look at pornography in like the 70s and 80s, a lot more woman friendly, a lot more like I say a lot more woman friendly. Like to me, pornography has always had a misogynistic,
for sure,
origin to it, almost. But when you look at, the old like pornography from like decades and decades ago, like some of the first pornography, it's just it's not as bad as what we have now. And there wasn't as much of it as we have now. And not every man had access to it. Every man and boy had access to it, like in the palm of their hand. Like you had to go to a brick and mortar place. You had to drive out to the edge of town where that place was located.
Buy the videos.
Yes. You had to go in a special, like behind the beaded curtain. Like there was, we used to be a proper society. And now it's right there in the palm of your hand.
Yeah.
Like it's in the Google image search. Like when you type in woman, like pornographic images come up. So unless you have the safe search or whatever, but like who knows, like a lot of people don't know what their kids are doing on their phones, etc. So yeah, I do think that like there's been a huge shift in how women are treated in porn, and like men are seeing that. And I think it is directly correlated to, like you said, there was a time that women were not as threatening to men. They still couldn't open a credit card. They still couldn't take out a business loan. These days, it's very important, I think, for men to see women being degraded in a sexual context because they feel so outperformed in other areas of life. So I do think that's like, we will see. I think we'll go back and like study this. Like I wasn't able to find any studies on this, but like, I think we'll go back and like be able to see. Yeah.
I also think women are a lot more vocal about just flat out saying like these men, you always hear women saying the men can't even find the clit, or the men can't even please me, or the men don't have the special tools to get the job
equipment,
done. And stuff like that. So women are, oh my God, women are a lot more vocal. So I think it's kind of the same where back in the day, women were not as forthcoming about the abuse that they were suffering behind closed doors, or they were not as forthcoming with motherhood regret and things like that. So nowadays, women are coming forward. The child-free movement, a lot of women wouldn't dare say, I never want kids 40, 50 years ago, right? And so I think a lot of that has to do with just women coming forward. And a lot more women are being honest. Like, actually the sex is not that good, or actually the sex was okay. The 30 years I was married to him, whatever. Women are just like, okay, yeah, no, this ain't it. And
women are saying it's not serving them to pretend anymore.
Yeah. Yes. Because a lot of women have lied or faked it and stuff like that. And so women don't feel the need to do that anymore. I remember the moment I became radicalized and not faking it anymore. You're going to laugh, but when Rihanna came out with Rude Boy, and there was a voice, a verse where she was like, if I ain't feeling it, I ain't faking it, or whatever. And I was
no.
There, I was like, that's it. And how old was I when that song came out? I was in my early 20s. And I just remember thinking like, yeah, why do women fake it? Like, for what? You're hurting yourself when you fake it. Because he's getting what he wants, but you're not. So you might as well just tell the truth. But I do know why women fake it. They do it to stroke a man's ego, to be safe. You never know if a guy's going to haul off and punch you in the face because you just told him his dick was trash or whatever. So, there's a combination of things. And I think women are just becoming more vocal about, I don't need to have sex. I'm celibate. I've been celibate for 10 years. These men don't know what they're doing anyway. So
absolutely. I think it comes back to like, how men are always like gender wars, but in reality, like they're the ones playing gender wars with us, because I do think a lot of men are so bad in bed because, again, they have that conquest mindset where it's like, we're not working together to achieve like a fun, desirable, mutually pleasurable time. You are getting your validation externally from the fact that you did this thing. And it's like mechanical to you. Yep. It's like it's a tool, right? It's a tool for violence. Yeah. Like for a lot of men, having sex with women is like, what did she say in the Barbie movie? Like there's an undertone of violence to like men's sexual desire sometimes. And I do think that's important to like talk about, and we'll come back to it like sort of at the end, but that's part of it too. It's like the same way that men can't imagine a world without wars or exploitation. And for women, it's so easy. It's like, well, we would just talk about it. We would just figure it out. Like we just wouldn't act like a troglodyte, and we would just figure it out. And men struggle seeing it that way. They're like, yeah, but what if somebody just comes and, like violates you? And it's like,
that's so
that
true.
Would be you. That's you're saying that because it would be you.
Yes,
like,
that's so true. They can't.
What do you mean?
Can't. You will never be able to reason with guys like that about anything because they can't. Their brains are hardwired to see competition, to see violence, to see war, to see coming and taking things that don't belong to you. They can't even. Yeah, if you came up with a hypothetical, they'll be like, no, but someone's gonna break into your house. So at some point in time, somebody's gonna grab your ass when you're walking down the street and sexually assault you. Like they can't. They cannot picture a life without all of that, because I feel like it's hardwired into some of them.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So just like right out the gate, a couple of disclaimers. But yeah, I wanted to get into some of the statistics that are really telling the story, because, some people might come in here and say, well, why are we talking like men are bad in bed, or like, how do we really know this, or whatever? Like,
I listen to women.
I was going to say the statistics tell the story, because there is an orgasm gap that tells us women are good in bed and men are bad in bed. Okay. So a huge U.S. sample of 52,500 adults found that 95% of heterosexual men said they usually or always orgasmed during sexual encounters, compared with only 65%. That's a little over half of heterosexual women. That's a 30 percentage point gap. Another national survey of heterosexual encounters found that women's orgasm probability increased when encounters included a wider range of sexual activities, including going down on a woman. In the large U.S. sample, the 52,000 sample, heterosexual women reported orgasm much less frequently than lesbian women, 65% versus 86%. And again, reminder, heterosexual men were at 95%. So it's like we clearly center men's pleasure a lot more than women's to begin with. Yep. But it is men that are bad in bed because, again, how the fuck are 95% of y'all orgasming and women are not orgasming with you? Like, they are only like a little over half of women. So it's kind of like flipping a coin, whether you're even going to come or not, which a lot of men would not take that deal.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Right.
If women were just as flippant about men's orgasms. But also then you see direct like evidence of when women are with other women, they also have like a better outcome. So it's like, no, women are must be better in bed, like in general, because I don't really know how you explain the statistics otherwise. Right. Or we just, the thing that annoys me about that the most is that I think at the core of this is that we treat men's orgasm as the ending point of sex. Like that's the completion of sex. When the man's had the orgasm, then you're done.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's part of like what contributes to this is that like this.
Who do you think is responsible for that? Because I think it's men that's responsible for that. When they orgasm, it's over. I think that's men's fault because usually they're all tapped out and they don't want to do anything else because they got theirs. So
absolutely. Yeah.
So
or they act like, every woman is so different that it's like impossible to figure out. When in reality, it's like every man is so different.
Yeah.
Like every man wants something different. Like every man, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like think about the actual.
Yeah. They all
women
have
are
their
just
own
like,
level
get me
of
there,
depravity.
right?
Yeah.
Men are like, hang from the chandelier and like, you have to be pregnant and shooting a potato gun or whatever,
God.
or else I'm not going to like get off. Like, no, like that's crazy.
Show
like
me your
you
feet.
have to show me your. It's always
I can't
something.
get off unless I see your feet.
It's always something. And they sexualize every part of a woman's body. And you never know which man is like attracted to what. And women are expected to keep up with all that, right? You're still inadequate if you can't satisfy a man like that, who has like, 95 preferences that you have to meet all at once for him to achieve. Like, and you as a woman, you are expected to be there in that bedroom for 1, 2, 3, however many hours.
Absolutely not.
Right. Right. And this man is just going to, sit there pushing rope and like, you're not even like, nothing's even happening and he still won't stop until he gets off. Right. Like how many women have faked an orgasm? Yes. Because a lot of men too, it's like, they'll be like, oh yeah, like I'm going to get you off. I'm going to get you off. And then they are just doing the worst thing for so long to the point where you just fake it.
Yeah, literally.
Because they can't take no for an answer one way or another.
Yes.
They're like, no, I'm going to give you an orgasm. And you're like, is that a threat? Why does that sound like a threat? Like, why? I feel like this is not pleasurable. This
told
is
one
like
of my friends that before. Actually, it wasn't that long ago. It was probably like earlier this year. Because he was like, why would women fake it? I was like, because they want you to get the fuck up. Like a woman will get to a point where it's taking forever.
You're not doing the right thing.
Yeah, especially if a woman she's already tired. She already really doesn't want to do it, but she's doing it for you as her wifely duties or her girlfriendly duties or whatever.
Yeah,
I know, right? And then you're taking all day. You're trying to prolong it, right? And it's like, we're like, don't prolong it. Well, I already don't want to be here. Don't try to hold off and try to make it last forever. Yeah. And then you're doing all the wrong things. So then a woman is just going to start screaming and doing all, and talking dirty and whatever else. I've done that. I'm telling you, I've done it just so that you
Harry
can hurry
met Sally.
up.
Absolutely. Yes. That was a real thing.
Yes. And I don't think a lot of guys understand that. Like that's the reason. If you're watching this and you wonder why women would fake it, that stroke your ego to make you feel good about yourself. But also,
not for
so
our
you can hurry
sake.
the fuck up.
It's not for our sake.
It's never for our sake.
Nobody's faking orgasms because it feels good. Feels good to have one, not to fake one.
To actually have
and
one.
So when a woman is doing that, like, don't blame the women because women know, like, women are under so much pressure to perform, even as far as like having their own orgasm. Because to most men, genuinely sex and gender and everything, it's like to most men it's a performance, and so they're not surprised that you're performing because they're performing too.
It's a performance. Yeah, literally.
It's a performance.
That's
for them
all
too.
Porn is. It's a performance. Like a lot of guys actually, one of the reasons why we say it's brain rot for men is because they actually think women enjoy being punched before she, you know what I mean, and all these weird things that they be doing to women. It's like that. No woman wants that for real. Are you kidding me? Like, but it's all a performance. And they start to think it's real. They'll come out into the real world with real women thinking that they'll have those requests. Like, oh, I want you to do this. Why? For what? Like, really?
Mm-hmm. And that kind of goes into my second point, is that like the orgasm gap exists because everyone in our society is conditioned to think of sex ending when the man has the orgasm. Like, like there was this lesbian woman who recalled being asked a question by a straight man who said, well, how do you guys know when sex is over?
What did she say?
Well, that's the funny part, is that like when both people have had an orgasm, like, what do you mean? Like, to lesbians, that's so easy to understand, right? But a man who's like used to having sex with heterosexual women, it's like he literally thinks that sex is done when he comes. So he's like, if there's no man there to come, how do lesbians know when sex is over?
Yeah.
And that's how we think as a society.
Right.
Like that's even like lesbian women complain about how male-centered lesbian porn is too, where it's like,
it's
these women are not, it's for the male gaze. Yeah. Like you have to search high and low, to find like any kind of porn that's not male centered, but especially like, like women's sexual orientation gets fetishized like that. And it's like, I hate that the modern sex life, the pinnacle of women's sexual liberation is essentially penis worship. Like it's like, we're literally like, when the man has come, that's when we're done. We just roll over and go to sleep at that point. Like,
I never really thought of it that way, but yeah, we are conditioned to think that. But like I said, I always felt like that because that was the lead that the men took, because they're like out of breath and tired, and they won't be able to get it up anymore because they're all just wiped out. So it's literally the end. Like, you know what I mean? And they don't care about oh my God.
They got what they wanted.
Yeah, they don't care about if you did or didn't. It's like, if you didn't by the time I did, then that's just tough.
That's all the time you have. Yeah. That's all the time you have. Yeah, that's why I tell women, a man should not even have access to you until he has made you orgasm multiple times if you are into that. Like,
but that's the issue. A lot of guys are not.
They're not going to do that.
They're out there. You just have to be very picky when you find them. I don't know. I kind of always been like attracted to guys that just want to, like, they don't mind paying for everything. They don't mind you. They want you to be comfortable. Yeah, they're very generous. And I feel like generous men are generous in everything that they do. Mm-hmm. So you can kind of pick up on like little things. I don't know. I started picking up on that like probably in my mid-20s or mid to late 20s, like the ones who just want to like make you happy. They just they even if it's just to keep you around, even if they just want you in their company, they're just gonna do whatever. I find that those men are a lot more generous in bed because that's the main. If they're not generous anywhere else, that'll be the number one place because they want you to come back. But, but a lot of guys are just like, I don't really give a damn. And too bad.
Again, it's a performance. It's a check, it's a notch on their bedpost, like we say.
Yeah.
I also want to talk about like how men are bad at sex because they're bad at communication. So that's like one thing where you were kind of saying like women are lying and like not learning, like not caring to learn what women want. Mm-hmm. Women lie because, first of all, like men don't want to be communicated with about that stuff. Like it hurts their ego. It like could put you in danger to tell a man that he's trash in bed. It could like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like a lot of women are just too nice, but men who encourage communication around that subject report way better, like overall sexual function. Like sexual communication in a study was positively associated with orgasm, arousal, desire, lubrication, erectile function, and overall sexual function. So this is not just, there's this idea that women are the only ones who need to communicate and women are, the ones that all of this sex talking is for and, all this sex therapy. And it's like, no, dude, it'll help you not have a limp dick too. Like it'll help you to like stay hard because a lot of men are performing out of an idea of what women want. And then nobody's having fun.
Right.
You know, if you're not talking about the expectations, if you're not talking about what you're actually into. So people that talk about this stuff have a much easier time. But a lot of this, you know, masculinity, macho, like kind of media would tell you that women want you to know what you want and you got to come in there and, you know, she doesn't want some, you know, like a weak little man who's going to ask her about her feelings and ask her if her vagina tickles. And it's like,
yeah. That right. Where do they be getting this stuff? I'm like, who told you that?
another man. It's always another man. It's literally never been a woman.
But even those men, like who told them that? And then who told them that? Like, where are y'all getting that? Like, where are y'all getting this from? It's like passed down generation to generation or passed down from friend group to friend group. It's like, but where? Who started this? Like, where did y'all get this from? This is so far-fetched.
It's crazy. And it's like, they did a study of 1,600 newlywed heterosexual couples, and 87% of the husbands reported consistently experiencing orgasm, while only 49% of the wives did. So there's that similar kind of statistic again. But 43% of husbands misperceived how often their wives experienced orgasm. So a lot of men just think that like if you're moaning in bed or like if you're generally showing signs that you're having a good time, like they think that means you've had a good time and you're good. And a lot of women, and I'm not faulting them for this, but a lot of women kind of contribute to this by saying, I don't need to have an orgasm every time. I have a good time. It feels good. Girl, quit lying. Quit lying. You're not helping anybody. You're not helping that man and you're not helping your fellow women. And again, if you're having to do that for safety, that's one thing. But stop doing it to protect a man's ego, because I promise it's that thing of like boys are easier to raise. You know what I mean? You just don't bother. You just don't tell them. You just pretend like it's okay. You just say, I had a good time. It was great. It was fine. You know, especially when they ask. And it's like, you shouldn't have to ask.
I was just
if you
about
have to ask,
that. Don't you hate when they ask?
It didn't
like,
happen.
why are you asking?
Diabolical.
If you have to ask, then the answer is no.
It's literally no.
Like
it's literally no.
What the
It's very obvious. Just like it's obvious when a man has an orgasm, it's usually pretty obvious when a woman has an orgasm.
Very obvious.
Yeah.
Very.
But yeah, so like half of these husbands, we're not even like wondering, we're not aware, we're not, I don't know, listening. We're maybe being lied to because their self-esteem is so low. Like, I don't know, but they literally are like, yeah, she's having a great time. And the wife is like, I'm literally not having an orgasm. You need to communicate. You need to be able to talk about this. And as a man, you need to ask for feedback. That leads to a better sex life. Like,
I also think even if guys know deep down that the woman isn't having a good time, they don't really want to know the truth because it's going to force them to have to work hard. And because many of them are so misogynistic, they don't believe women even deserve that level of effort. Do you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
It goes back to even how so many men don't see sex as something that they do with a woman, but something that they do to a woman. So I feel like that plays a part too. They don't even... They don't want to have to work that hard because they don't think you're supposed to just like give me what I want. Your goal in life, the only reason why you were created is to pop out babies. And the way we pop out babies is to give me sex when I want it and to cook and clean and do all these things. That's your job. I don't have to really go out of my way to make sure that you are actually getting off. You're supposed to get me off because that's what you're supposed to do as a woman. That's your role. I think probably a majority of men feel that way, even if they don't even realize they do, because we are in a fucking patriarchy.
Right. I was going to say that's very subtly conditioned through a lot of different like ways, including just like the way women show up in media, the way men show up in media. You know, the way that like masculinity is talked about versus femininity, like all of those things. It's like, yeah, women are just there to make sure men get their needs met. women are supposed to make sure men don't ever feel uncomfortable. Women are supposed to make sure things don't get awkward. Women are supposed to make sure everybody has a good time. And men are supposed to procreate and look out for number one and dominate and, kill people if they need to. Like, that's literally, that's just how it shows up in our media. So, of course, a lot of men just think like women are side characters in every way.
Literally.
Including the fact that like the word vagina, literally that word has some interesting connotations because apparently it means like a sheath for a sword, like a penis sheath. Yes.
Please.
That's what men think that we are. Like there's,
I never heard it.
Isn't that insane?
A sheath for a sword is crazy. It's so funny. But it's also making me think of on TikTok, public always says vagina with an R.
Stop.
Have you ever heard him say that? He's
Not the hard R.
Vagina. Oh my God. It is so funny. He made that word so funny. I don't know. I can't even say that word without thinking of the way public says it. Vagina.
It's hard to take it seriously, honestly, because it's like that idea has been crazy. That idea has been persistent in the culture for so long, and it's so misogynistic. It's like, no, it's a part of my body. Like, it's definitely not that. Whatever you're saying it is.
Lay in the bed and think of this. Like, this is going to be on my mind. I'm going to be at work, and this is going to be, because it's so funny. What? A sheath for a sword is crazy work. Oh my God.
Crazy work. Absolutely crazy work.
Oh my God. Okay.
The other conclusion that I made from all of my studies that I looked at is that men are especially bad at sex when they subscribe to patriarchal thinking. And I think that we see evidence of that like right now a little bit, where men are so threatened by, women kind of taking over the traditionally male dominated fields in society. And I think that they're leaning kind of harder on quote unquote traditional masculinity. But men exposed to traditional masculinity cues showed significantly higher levels of dysfunctional sexual beliefs and traditional sexual attitudes than men exposed to models of more modern masculinity. So basically, it kind of makes you degenerate in your, like, the more that you subscribe to masculinity, the more that your like sexual tastes kind of get dysfunctional. Like, they're not serving anybody at a certain point. Yeah. And then another study in 2002 looked at gender inequities in household labor among women partnered with men who had children. And across two studies, women who were doing a larger proportion of household labor reported lower sexual desire for their partner. The researchers found that this relationship was mediated by women perceiving their partner as dependent and perceiving the division of labor as unfair. So men who buy into the whole like women have to cook and clean and do the house stuff, they're getting a lot less sex because their wives are not turned on. So by their inadequacy around the house. And it's like, so yeah, the patriarchy is really ruining sex for men and women. And
instead of hearing the wife and saying, men are always going to take the road of least resistance, because the woman can say, I need you to help me. I need, I'm wrangling 4 kids every day by myself. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. At the end of the day, the last thing I'm thinking about is sex. Just help me out a little bit. Just wash the dishes in the afternoon or whatever. That'll take a complete load off of me. I don't have to worry about the kitchen. Can you just do the kitchen? And I got all the other 7,000 things that I got to do in the next 4 hours. Can you just do the dishes? They don't even want to do the dishes or whatever it is that the woman is requesting. For them, it's just easier to go have an affair. Like, you could get more sex if you actually saw your wife as human, number one. And if you actually help to raise your own fucking kids and help clean up your own house that you live in, that you help mess up. Like, actually adulting. You could get more sex by being a fucking adult. But instead, you're like, shit, I don't want to help. I'm going to complain about, I'm not getting a lot of sex from my wife. Oh, the kids, oh, this and that. I'm just going to go get me a mistress.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's one of the big things that contributes to guys just it's easier for them to just go find somebody else to get their needs met. Because really all they want is their sexual needs met anyway. They don't actually, a lot of them don't even actually want the wife and the kids. And so it's just a part of the patriarchy. These are checklists. This is a checkbox that I'm supposed to check off in the patriarchy, which is why I always tell women, that's why a lot of men don't want to come home. You know, like you could tell if a man really likes you, if he can't wait to get home to you and your kids. Like, he can't wait to spend time for little Timmy's birthday or whatever. But if you got to argue with them about, oh, I need you to help me and I need this, they don't even want to be there. Like, that's what that is. And they'll just go get a mistress instead of actually hearing you out. And it's so annoying because it's like, if you pour into your woman, oh my God, women will just naturally pour back into you tenfold. It's just going to take a little bit of effort from you. The bar is in hell. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is. But like, it's just going to take a little bit of effort. Just a little bit. You're not even willing to do that. And so, yeah, women are just tired.
Yeah. No, genuinely, I think at the end of the day, it's like a lot of women, like if you go and read the subreddits and, you know, where women get to openly talk about their motherhood journey and things like that, it's like a lot of them genuinely view sex as a chore, another chore at the end of the night. Like it's not even for fun. It's literally just to keep your man from being literally fucking insufferable, from literally just like literally ruining your fucking life with his whining and bitching and huffing and puffing. And a lot of them just are like going into the bedroom at the end of the night, like a soldier going into the last trench of the fucking day,
right?
You know, just to like fulfill an obligation, like because they have to. Like nothing makes me more sick, honestly, than like the thought of a woman doing 7,000 things throughout the day and like wiping kids' butts and like sucking the boogers out of their nose manually through a fucking straw. Like the crazy shit that moms have to do, right? Already. Just to keep your helpless baby alive. Because literally, if you don't suck out those boogers, your baby's going to suffocate. Like you got to suck the boogers out, right?
Right.
And like, you got to like wash the dishes, wash the baby bottles, pick up, you know, little Timmy from school. You know, you got to like put in the laundry, take out the laundry, fold the laundry. You have to scrub a toilet because nobody scrubbed it for 2 weeks. You have to like wipe down the sink. You have to do all this. Then you're thinking about dinner. Oh, now you have to go to the grocery store. You come back from the grocery store. You start the dinner. The kids are climbing all over you. Your husband comes in, kicks off his shoes, you know, left and right, like all this stuff, sits down, eats the food, burps, farts, goes, takes a 40-minute shit, and then retreats to the fucking bedroom for the rest of the night.
Or the man cave.
Or the man cave.
No one is allowed to bother daddy.
Right. Right. While you do, you do all the cleanup, you put all the kids to bed, and then you literally have to walk into that bedroom like a fucking prisoner, like a freaking captive. And then you have to like pretend to enjoy the last chore that you have to do at the end of the night.
Oh my God. And then you got to turn around. And then the man is going to. And get up tomorrow and do the same thing over.
Do it all over again.
Oh
and then
God.
He's going to have the nerve to be like, yeah, she's not like as enthusiastic. Like our bedroom is dead. Like she doesn't really like even want to do it anymore.
You're dead.
Yeah. No, seriously. In my perfect world. Oh my God. In my perfect world. It's like, no,
I couldn't imagine. That's one of the top reasons why I'm like, I'm never having kids. I just can't do it.
Because the entitlement is crazy. You could do all of that.
Yes.
And the man will still like have the nerve to divorce you because you didn't have enough sex with him.
Yeah. Or because you got old. Or because your body changed after the 3 kids he begged you for. Like, really? I just... Oh my God, I can't even.
And it's just like, you're bad at sex. Like you don't like, you're actually an evil person. But like, besides all that, you're actually like, you're bad.
Chore,
you don't understand.
Yes, the chore that she has to suffer through, you're not even good at it. Like,
yes, yes.
Oh
like
God,
literally.
At least be good at it. At least say, babe, you worked hard washing those dishes and doing those 7,000 jobs in the last 4 hours. Here. I got you.
Right.
You know
right.
what I mean? Like, not even. I can't.
It's pathetic, honestly. And like, again, something we need to shame men more about. If we're going to continuously shame women, I'm going to shame men. And I'm not going to stop there because I'm also have some fun facts for y'all. Fun fact number 1. Young men's erectile difficulties are increasingly becoming recognized as a real clinical issue. So
Wow.
they're pushing rope out here, ladies. Like, it's not even worth it. I mean, they're watching so much porn and they have like the death grip so bad that it doesn't even work anymore. So if you're wondering, like, has it gotten worse? It has gotten worse. They're choking the chicken too much. Like, it's got to be blue in the face.
Please.
I'm so serious.
Oh my God. The death grip and choking the chicken. Listen, I can't. Oh my God.
They're doing it too much. And it's a real clinical issue. Like that, when people talk about fertility rates and they act like it's all women's fault, but we don't talk about the fact that 35% of young fertile men cannot get it up to impregnate someone.
Crazy.
So like, what is even, are women even the problem? Like, are women even like saying no to sex with men? Like, we know that they are, but like, how many women is that? But then also how much of the, you know, sexlessness is really just because these men don't even have the desire anymore.
And we know that they blame women. To hide their embarrassment of it, they'll blame you and say, well, I'm just not turned on by you, or I just don't like your body, or I just don't like that. And it's like, no, sir.
It's always the woman you gave me.
Literally.
You know? Yeah.
It's like, no, sir, the brain rot. And I think somebody was talking about a study that the Y chromosome is like disappearing from nature.
It's being kind of phased out a little bit.
Yeah. So I wonder, is that why? Like, a part of me is like, maybe it's just nature. Maybe nature just doesn't want some of these men to reproduce because they're just going to reproduce fruitless fruit. Wait, am I saying that
what
right?
is it? The bare branches.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
maybe that's the way Mother Nature wants it. I don't know. The fact that erectile dysfunction used to be seen as like an old man's thing, like when you're 60. You know, or maybe even 50 or
seriously.
something. But now 30s and even like late 20s, guys
they're
are having
talking about
issue.
young men.
Yeah.
They're talking about like
the funniest part about this, unfortunately, I don't even care.
Oh no,
because I think if you're
under the age of 40,
if you're not able
35% of men under the age of 40 cannot get it up.
I actually think the number is higher than that.
That's like 1 in 3.
No, I think it's higher than that. I think a lot of men will never admit it. Think about the men who would never admit that.
Right. Yeah, that's just based on a study.
Yeah.
Self-reported.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of men who would never admit that. So the number is higher. Just like when we talk about the sexual assault cases or how many women, but we know it's more than that because there's a lot of women who don't come forward. I feel the same way. A lot of men are not finna say, my dick doesn't get I can't get my dick up.
For sure. They'll just make it your fault. Yeah. They'll be like, this never happens.
Yeah.
This never happens to me. You're the first woman this has ever happened with.
Yeah, there's something wrong with you, ma'am. Yeah. Okay.
The study was saying the causes could include performance anxiety, depression, relationship problems, metabolic/vascular issues, lifestyle factors, and pornography use. But then the reason that I keep coming back to pornography use is that a 2026 systematic review / meta-analysis involving 21 studies and 138,000 participants found that male pornography users had, on average, lower sexual function and sexual satisfaction and higher sexual dysfunction than female users. So pornography is affecting men differently than women because it's creating like a narrative for men, that is both unrealistic and also like self-defeating. Like it's you know what I mean? Like the shit that happens in porn, like is not going to happen in real life. And because men have that script, they're nerfing their own sex life. Yeah. Like it's like a rake that they're stepping on and then wondering why their head hurts between their eyes. Like
not the rake.
You did that, baby. You stepped on that rake.
The Homer Simpson rake.
Yes. It's my favorite.
Yeah, I know. That's so funny. Oh my God.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's kind of a darker side to this that I also wanted to address because it does need to be talked about. So I wanted to kind of like leave off on that note because we can like laugh and, have a good time about this. But
oh God, I got a feeling I might laugh still.
I know. It's just whenever someone says like, we got to get serious, it's so hard to do.
It is. Thanks a lot, Lisa.
So the dangerous part is that not only are men getting worse in bed, is that they're actually becoming like sexually narcissistic because of the porn they're watching. And CDC explicitly identifies societal norms that support male superiority and sexual entitlement and women's inferiority and sexual submissiveness and tolerance of sexual violence as risk factors, obviously, for sexual violence. Like, we live in a society that normalizes all these dynamics, and then we're like,
right,
why is 1 in 3 women being assaulted? Like, yeah,
Right.
well, because of that.
Yeah.
And so in one analysis of 304 popular porn scenes, almost 9 out of 10, think about that, contained physical aggression perpetrated by men against women. So some men are not bad at sex. They're just way too comfortable hurting women. So like, they will use the social script of like men as sexually dominant, confident, aggressive, etc. You see a lot of this on the red pill subreddits. To force and coerce unwanted sexual acts. They'll do the whole thing of like, she acts like she's not into it, but really she wants you to do this. Like, she wants you to dominate her. She's really just saying no because she's shit testing you, all this kind of stuff. And it's rape culture.
Yeah.
And so hostile masculinity, we have a study for this too, is correlated with sexual violence and aggression towards women. So again, this porn thing is like, yeah, we can laugh about how it's giving men ED and stuff like that, but it's also giving men permission to be sexually violent, which is awful at the end of the day, and is, you know, like, not only are men bad in bed because they don't care about women's pleasure, but then we also have to worry about the men who actively get off on like women's pain and like discomfort. So,
and this is why I'm going to always advocate for women to get guns and learn how to shoot them. Like, seriously, like,
keep one under your pillow.
Yeah, like learn how to shoot them. Like, pretend like, you know, you are Olivia Benson from Law and Order SVU. Like, learn the maneuvers and how to shoot and how to, you know, like, seriously, you can learn this stuff in real life. Like, you know, you can take classes to learn how to defend yourself. And that might sound crazy or sound like a joke, but I think things are going to get worse.
Yes.
The number is going to be 1 in 1. It's not going to be 1 in 3. At some point, I feel like it's going to increase because more and more guys are becoming more violent, because more women are becoming more independent. And, you know, it's just, I feel like it's going to get worse before it gets better. So I'm going to always advocate that women learn different methods to protect yourself. And shit, I feel like the more women stand on business, I think a lot of guys are going to start thinking like, this sexual assault that I'm getting ready to do, this might be the last thing I ever do. So I probably shouldn't do it because I'm not going to live to see tomorrow. They need to have that kind of fear in them. Women need to put that kind of fear in men. Like, we're not these helpless victims, because it doesn't matter how strong men think they are physically. You ain't stopping a bullet to the head. Like, okay, I don't care who you think you are. So that's just how I look at it. I'm not advocating for women to just wake up one day and go be violent towards men either. I'm just saying you have the right to protect yourself when these guys,
absolutely.
Because we know most men are not going to protect you. So
yeah, exactly. I was going to say, and I do believe in equality. So
facts.
Level out those violence statistics.
Absolutely.
If it needs to go that way.
Absolutely.
It seems like that's one of the only languages that men speak.
Really
and
is.
honestly, another thing is if with the landscape looking like this, I guess what I'm saying is Sovereign says, get a gun. And I think we would both also say, and a vibrator. And then that way you're just safe. Like, you're just covered. Like,
if you don't already have a vibrator, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
with your
Because
life?
honestly, there might come a time when genuinely it's just not safe.
Right.
Like, it's not even safe to have like casual, hookups because the violence against women is growing or whatever.
That's so true.
And it's like,
and you're still gonna want to have your needs met. So
I was gonna say, and it's like one of the best ways, I think, to decenter men is to stop relying on them for sexual pleasure. And you can do that in or out of a relationship. You never have to be like going feral for a man and like hoping that, something is going to happen. Like, you can just take care of your own needs the same way that like we would tell a man too, right? Like if your partner's not into it or if your partner's not there, you don't have to go out and cheat on them. You don't have to like do anything. You don't have to force anything. You can just take care of it yourself. And I feel like, you know, women, we can internalize that same message because dick is not guaranteed. Not today, not tomorrow, you know?
Yeah, you could have it today and then tomorrow it could just go limp. And now what are you going to do?
Now what are you going to do? So I'm just saying, you know, be prepared. Take care of your own safety. And like I said, like it's really knowing the keys to your own pleasure is really one of the best ways to
Totally
decenter men and to not be like, you know, what is it called? Dickmatized.
That word has always been funny to me.
It's so funny. It's absolutely funny.
It is funny.
It's one of those things where like the male pleasure is sort of like inextricable from our view of like sex and pleasure and what makes us as women like feel sexy. And I really think we got to get rid of that. Like I really think, you know, whatever media you need to watch or not watch, whatever kind of ideas you need to let go of, that your sexuality is like deeply tied in with like men or being wanted or desired by men. We remind y'all in every single show that men desire and, you know, an untouched thing of yogurt, an unopened,
right,
you know, a jar of peanut butter, a sandwich. Their levels of desire are unmatched. And so you as a woman can also, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to limit your sexual attraction to just being desired by a man, is all I'm saying.
Right.
You know? So yeah, because I do think a lot of women, it's like, they won't take like matters into their own hands, so to speak. Like they'll just be like, oh, I need to get laid or whatever. Like what about getting laid is like the prize, you know?
right.
The orgasm is the prize, right? Like, am I crazy?
No.
Or is it like the male validation? Like the orgasm is the prize.
Yeah.
That's the thing that releases your endorphins. That's the happy feeling you get. Outside of that, like, I don't really know why you would be desiring a man like sexually. And most of them are not going to give you an orgasm, as we know. So don't get your hopes up too much, ladies. And I think in conclusion, we can pretty safely conclude that men are in fact getting worse at sex. Or maybe we're just like more aware of how bad sex with men has always been.
And not afraid to say it.
Exactly. So do with that information what you will. And we'll be right back to play tea or trash, starting with discussing motherhood regrets. Is it tea or trash? Find out when we return. Welcome back to the latest edition of Tea or Trash, where we take currently trending feminist aesthetics and brand them either tea as in helpful and good for all women, or trash as in short-lived and low-key misogynistic. So I thought today we would start with one I actually really love. So I'm kind of giving away my position right away, but the discussion of motherhood regrets. I think that's super tea.
Okay.
I think that like saved my life. I actually would attribute, I could actually get emotional about it because I know how like taboo it is to share about motherhood not being everything that it's cracked up to be and like kind of taking this magical sheen off of it and being like, no, like your body is going to tear in half and like your teeth might fall out and your bones are never going to be that strong again. And like you are going to put your body through so much. It's just going to be like diapers a lot of the time. And nobody thinks you're a person anymore. And everyone only cares about your baby and nobody gives a shit about you. And your husband's talking about, oh, your tummy, like stretch marks, like whatever. And I just reading so many stories from women talking about the downsides of it and like the real raw experience. And, you know, just sometimes them not being able to find a silver lining. They're like, I know I should be happy and I should feel fulfilled and satisfied and all that, but I wasn't sure about this to begin with. And now I'm stuck and I don't think I wanted this. And so to me, that instilled that healthy fear in me of like, if you're not sure, just don't do it. because I think that was like getting lost on a lot of people. Like a lot of people are getting pushed over the fence of like, well, if you're not sure and you don't do it, then you'll never know. And like, you might miss out. And, you know, a lot of people kept getting pushed over the fence. And I'm so glad that those people spoke up and said, it's not good over the fence. Like if you're on the fence, you'd rather be on the other side where there's no kids. Like,
I agree. I don't know if I paid attention to motherhood regret when I was growing up. Like I think when I was growing up, I've always known I didn't want kids since I'm 7 years old. I was like, I don't want kids. I just always looked at it like, I don't want to do that. I never looked at it like all these mothers are regretting it. Whenever I would hear like family members or whoever like crying about their deadbeat baby daddy and how hard it was, I always thought it was just an individual thing, you know, or you know, she's talking about her ex-husband or her baby daddy. So to me, it was always an individual thing. I never really paid attention to mothers regretting it. Not until I got online, not until I got on social media. And then I started realizing, oh my God, because see, I don't know if I thought I was going to regret it when I was a teenager and when I was, you know, becoming an adult. I think it was more so, I just want to live my life. I just want, you know, I just want my freedom, you know, maybe, you know, sometimes women want to live their lives and have their freedom, but they still want to be a mother one day once they're ready to settle down and they don't really feel like they need the freedom or whatever, because now they're adults and they're mature and they're this and they're that. So I always looked at it that way. It's something that you may decide to do when you're ready to settle down. But social media and then Zoomy, coming across Zoomy on TikTok, the girl with the list, for those who don't know who that is.
Shout out.
Stuff I'd never heard of in my life that happens to some women when they get pregnant or after, like years later, they have complications from their pregnancy, like later on down the road. And I remember when I was in my nursing rotation and the OR rotation, and women were getting surgeries for stuff like bladder issues and all that. And the doctors was like, what causes this? Childbirth, woman in her 40s, late 40s. She had her kids in her 20s. But now she's having to have this surgery all these years later because her bladder never fully, you know, went back to where it was when she was in her 20s when she had her kids. You know, stuff like that. And I'm just like,
they'll find your bladder like up in your rib cage.
That's what I'm saying. Like, oh my God.
It's crazy.
So for this particular woman that I'm thinking about, hers kind of fell. Hers was like protruding out of her.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
So they used a surgical mesh to put it back up where it's supposed to be. And they had to like sew a mesh to hold it up. And I saw this. We when you're in nursing school, you go through every rotation. You have to see everything up close and personal. And I remember that just really made me be like, I already knew I didn't want kids, but that right there, oh, hell to the no. Hell no. I love when women come out and they tell the truth about those things. I know a lot of women don't, because it's embarrassing. Some things are embarrassing. You don't want to tell people certain stuff.
You don't want to be the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the ones who like, well, yeah, my titties are saggy now and they're this. And I'm telling you, girl, don't have no kids because your titties going to look like mine. You know, and I love when mothers like, you know, tell the truth. There's always going to be the ones who will never admit. First of all, I did a video about this. 3 categories that I put parents in.
Yes, my favorite video.
Yeah, the ones that absolutely love mother and fatherhood. They wouldn't change it for the world. Then you got the ones that regret it and they'll tell you that they regret it. And then you got the ones that regret it, but they'll never admit it. And so I always feel gratitude towards the group of parents that will like literally like don't do it. I love my kids. I can't even imagine my life without my kids. Now that they're here, it'll be weird to just wish them away. But if I could do it all over again, I wouldn't do it. So if I were you, I wouldn't do it. So yeah, and I think it's important for women. The reason why I say it's tea is because it's important for women to have a full scope, a full picture. Don't just look at the Skittles and rainbows of motherhood or whatever. You need to know the upsides and the downsides before you can ever make an informed decision. You're not going to ever make an informed decision just getting one side of it. Even if you're just only getting the negative side, it's still not an informed decision. You need to see the bigger picture on each side. You know, so I'm always going to. And I remember seeing a video on TikTok and these women, it was a couple of them, they were like, no, I am not going to give you a platform to talk about your regret, because what if your kids see this? This is so, this is rude, and this is all these things. And they were like really upset at some of the women that were coming out telling the truth. And I'm just like, what's your angle? Like, why?
I'll tell you what, I would have much rather had that than like a mom who refused to admit that she hated being a mom and then just like blamed her children.
Everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. And is like gaslighting people and is taking it out on her child and, talks about how you owe her now and like she fed you and clothed you and like all that. And it's like, I'd much rather women just be able to say like, yeah, I love you, but I shouldn't have had kids. Like, that's fine. I would much rather my mom look me dead in my soul and say that than the shit that she did instead.
My mom kind of did. Like she, so we knew our mom loved us, but at the same time, you could tell like the way she acted, she was always mad. She was always upset about something. And, anytime she would get mad, she'd be like, I love y'all, but don't have as many kids as I did and blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, and I may the universe rest my mom's soul. Unfortunately, my mother was very male-centered up until like the last few years of her life. She started like kind of like seeing the error of her ways and changing or whatever. But she was male-centered. So a lot of her motherhood regret was because men don't find you as attractive when you got a bunch of kids. That was her thing. And also, too, it made her life harder. That was a big part. Your life is hard. You're going to struggle financially.
And I hate how mothers are not allowed to talk about that.
I know.
Like, of course you are. It's so hard. And nobody wants to help you. And then everyone's like, well, children are a blessing and you should have opened your legs and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay,
no,
you really can't win one way or another. It's fucking
my
awful.
My mom literally told me while I was a child, I don't even think I was 10 years old yet. My mom said, do not sit up here and have a bunch of kids. The more kids you have, the more your stock goes down. That's what she told me.
Yeah.
And I understood what she was saying. I don't think a woman's stock goes down when they have kids.
No.
I think that's only true in the minds of misogynistic men. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the patriarchy
100%.
started that whole thing.
100%.
You as a mother are not downgraded because you're a mother. It's just the society we live in that tries to make you feel that way. And unfortunately, you live that reality because that's the society we live in. So I think my mom was getting the brunt of that. She was getting treated a certain way because she had a bunch of kids. But she didn't understand.
Understandably bitter about it. Yeah.
She didn't understand that it doesn't make you a bad person. Like it doesn't mean that you're worthless. It doesn't mean that you are not worthy of love. It just, unfortunately, we live in a patriarchy. So yeah, I'm glad my mom was very upfront about things. She was like very radical about about certain stuff. So I think the first
wrong
person
in the right direction.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think the first person that made me realize that I'd never wanted kids was probably my mom. That's the first example of how hard motherhood was.
What it is for a lot of people.
Yeah. And then also being the eldest daughter, because they always say the eldest daughter to the child-free pipeline.
Yes,
a real
the parentified eldest daughter. Absolutely.
I was very, very much parentified. So that had a lot to do with it as well. But I just saw the women around me suffering. And most of them didn't, even in their suffering, they're like, oh, you'll change your mind one day. You'll still have kids.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm just like, but you're literally crying every night. You're literally walking around stressed out every day.
And I think that it's again, that's a patriarchal thing, because
I know.
I do think that like interacting with your kids like gives you a chemical response.
Mm-hmm.
Like we know this, right? Like you receive a lot of like oxytocin, like you receive a lot of like bonding hormones and everything like that. That's supposed to happen so you don't throw that little crying baby off a cliff when they have woken you up for the millionth time that night.
Yeah.
Like you do have like this chemical response of love to your children, and it takes very high levels of like narcissism or trauma or whatever to override that for most people. So a lot of women get confused the sort of biological chemistry of having a child and like the love, the attachment you feel from that to like, it makes it all worth it. And it's like, for a lot of people, it's like, it's not going to be worth it like ever to me, because I'm never going to know what that feels like. I don't want to know what that feels like under
know.
the patriarchy. I don't want to know what it's like to try and mother and love children and raise daughters or sons under the patriarchy.
And then just knowing that many of women's like major complications come from when they're pregnant with boys. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm
it's
saying?
True. That is true.
If you lose all your teeth, if you lose this or that, chances are it's because of your son that you know what I mean?
It's because, there's something about they've done studies on this for sure. But okay, we have to do more than one of these.
Oh, okay.
So let's move along.
Okay. Psycho-syncing.
Oh, is it tea or trash? That is a good one. What do you think?
For me personally, I'm going to say tea. But that's just me.
But do you see how it could be used against women though? Like at the same time, like
what?
Kind of like how they've always used our periods against it. Because cycle syncing, right, is the idea that like every week out of the month, you're kind of on a different like hormone cycle, right?
Yeah.
But because we live in the fucking patriarchy, rather than that being normalized for women and everyone just kind of knows, I feel like it could be the 2.0 of like women get emotional before their period. And this is why you're acting weird. And like, this is why women shouldn't be allowed in the workplace. Cause now we got to keep up with all of their cycle syncing and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
you know, like they're going to act like it's too inconvenient. But for me personally, it's also been tea as well. Like not overworking myself on certain weeks, taking it easy, eating more certain weeks. That's worked out really well for me. And like overall has improved my health so much more rather than waking up thinking I'm on a 24-hour hormone cycle like a man. I'm not.
Right.
So I can't work out the same way every day. I don't eat the same way every day. I don't rest the same way every day.
Your motivation is not the same every day. Like
it's been very life-changing
I think cycle syncing is one of those things that the men shouldn't even know about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You should never even tell them like about, that's just something that you keep to yourself or just only share amongst other women. It's just like our secret arsenal. Because I know for me, ever since I discovered that, it's been helping me a lot because I'm like, I'm feeling the luteal phase. I'm just like, I don't have any motivation. What's wrong with me? But I feel that way every luteal phase. So I know now if I'm trying to be creative, if I want to pump out more videos, if I want to do this or do that, I know the luteal phase is probably not going to be the time to do that. The follicular phase.
Yes.
Yeah. Ovulation. Yeah, maybe. I have more energy around, certain days during that time. Some days you feel like absolute crap. But I notice my energy levels are different. And then you eat differently. And my skincare is even different around depending on what phase you're in.
Yeah.
So definitely tea, but I just think it's one of those things that we should just discuss amongst ourselves. A man shouldn't even know. Ryan knows now, but men shouldn't even know what cycle syncing is. Like what cycle syncing is, so they can't use it against us. Do you know what I mean? You can't.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. As a general,
Yeah.
We can't trust them like that, unfortunately.
Except Rai.
He said, I already knew, sorry.
Oh, that's why we love Ryan. He's always so in touch and so in tune. We need to plant Ryan and make a field of Ryans and pass them out. You'll get a Ryan and you'll get a Ryan and everybody gets a Ryan. Because I think the world would just be different,
You literally are. I don't know.
Wait, what did he say? What did he say?
He said you're describing Lisa's worst nightmare.
Oh no, that's crazy. Everywhere you go, there's a Ryan. When you walk out your door, there's a Ryan. When you go get your coffee, there's a
Okay, so I wanted to talk about, I think something that's kind of coming back as a discussion topic, which is the do-it-all woman. Is that tea or trash? The woman who can do it all. She can have a family, a career.
I think it's trash, me personally. And
I agree.
And I only say that because when people have asked me that question, do I think women can have it all? My answer is no. Not all at the same time. Because
you have to say no.
Yeah, because I feel like having it all, something's going to suffer because there's only 24 hours in a day. So you're not going to be able to put 100% in everything. And even if you try to put 100% in everything, it's not going. There's not enough hours in the day. And the amount of stress that comes with trying to have it all is enough
It's
to
not
like
worth
send you
it.
into a stroke ward, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Stroke
Yeah.
inducing. And so I don't feel like it's healthy. And I think you can have it all, but just not at the same time. You know what I mean? That you can have the career, then you can have the family, then you can have I just don't. And every woman I've seen try to have it all, like, eventually kind of failed miserably in some area, or at some point, all of it, just because it's too much. You're trying to do too much. You are trying to make you're trying to make fetch happen, essentially.
Yeah.
And it's just not going to happen.
I actually think that the do-it-all woman is like a patriarchal tactic.
It is.
Like, I think it's like one of those things. It's like a patriarchal threat.
Mm-hmm.
It's like whenever men, you know how we say you should be scared of men who are like, my mom was the strongest woman I know.
Yes.
She did it all. She did it all. She
Run.
worked. She took care of us. She came home and she cooked and she cleaned and she somehow always had money to send us to camp and all this. Yeah, because she was a walking shell of a person.
Yes.
Your
And
mom
they
has
don't
no
care.
idea who she
And
is. They don't care. Not at all. They think it's like an honor. And it's like, you don't realize that even men don't work this hard. Like, the hardest working men don't work
Facts.
that hard. Plus, if on top of that, they had to birth all the children too to take care.
Listen. Exactly.
No, they would rather jump off a cliff.
They don't
honestly
see their own mothers as human. So they're not going to see you as human. She did it all. She was always, home cooked meal, no matter what. And she always did it with a smile on her face. You have no idea the amount of times that woman just wanted to run away and possibly jump off a bridge. Like,
I was gonna say,
what I mean?
and like, at what age did she have her first stroke? Like, at what age did she start developing dementia and all this kind of when did
because
she
people don't want to
talk
talk
about
some kind
that,
of autoimmune disease.
cancer, autoimmune disease, exactly.
And you're like, oh, my mom now she has cancer and now she has MS, and it's like people never correlate the two. Like, when I see women having those types of health problems at a certain age, my first thought is, what has she been through?
Who did this to you?
Yeah, like what all was she trying to do? She was trying to have it all. If you dig into the background of women, and I'm not saying this is 100% true across the board. I just think it's general. Women be stressed out. Like because they be trying to do so much for everybody, and they neglect themselves a lot of the times, and it shows in some of their diagnosis. Some of their some things are hereditary or whatever, but a lot of times stress. A lot of this shit is just stress.
It's activated.
Related. Yeah.
Activated by
whatever.
stress.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I'm always
and
going to blame
inflammation and all of
blame
that.
the husbands. Like, I'm sorry. Like, what did you put her through?
Yeah, or the absent fathers, or the sons who never stepped up. Like, I don't know. Because a lot of these, men will be raised by a mom like that, and then they don't even do anything to give back. Like, they don't. I just saw somebody saying oh, unfortunately, as a mother of two sons, I just had the worst realization that it's always daughters that are visiting at the hospital. It's always daughters that are there for the chemo treatments, all of that. And so a lot of these sons will be bragging on every first date about how their mom was this and that and whatever, but they'll never go visit her in the hospital.
Yeah.
So
like my mom, they actually will resent the mother for getting sick because you're supposed to still be here cooking my meals and doing my laundry even though I'm 40 years old. Like, there's a lot of them that feel like that.
And they can't wait to get married to dump the caretaking onto a woman too.
Woman. Yep.
Because now the woman has to
live up to
cook your meals. Yes, live up to the mother and also visit the mother in the hospital.
Oh my God.
By the way. And also when you move your mom in because she can no longer take care of herself, it's your wife that's going to take care of her, not you.
So true.
It always goes like that. So yeah, watch out, ladies. This is the do-it-all woman is nothing to be proud of. Like, I'm not saying that you need to want to be a passenger princess and live a soft life and not make your own money, but you do have to choose. You cannot actually have it all in good health unless you also are like Kim Kardashian or Beyonce or somebody that has infinite money
who can hire
for childcare and all of that. Yes, outsource everything else. And even those women, their business, things come on a cycle. Like, Beyonce will do her album drop, her tour, and then she'll take years off. and then it's like, it's a cycle.
Right.
She has to choose because she
can't-
wants to
right.
still spend time with her family.
Right.
She wants to have a good relationship with her kids. You can't be working all the time, even if you're Beyonce. Like, we don't even have the same 24 hours as Beyonce. and she still can't have it all.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
take it all with a grain of salt. But this has been Tea or Trash. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Let me read off our polls. Do you have a recommendation today?
I was going to say, do a thought experiment about today's topic. Just like going and randomly asking other women, like, hey, what do you think about this? Or even like schooling some of our guy friends.
Yes.
Just kind of like.
Yeah, the recommendation is actually look at those studies that we went out of our way to find and know that everything we said is statistically backed up. I also know there's like some really great books about sex and like communication. I know there's Come As You Are by Emily Nagoski. Get to know your body, get comfortable talking about those things. And we also have Dr. Kate coming on next week, who is a sex therapist. And so we're going to ask her lots of follow-up questions about the topics around sex. And especially, I think we had a lot of questions about sex post decentering men. And yeah, please make sure that you submit your questions, and we will be asking Dr. Kate, hopefully all of our listener questions, as well as the questions that we come up with. So without further ado, here's our poll results from last week. So the episode was about things women should stop apologizing for. And the question was, if you could erase just one unnecessary apology from women's vocabulary forever, what would it be? And A was setting boundaries, B was taking up space, C was saying no, and D was choosing themselves first.
What was the first one?
Setting boundaries. So things that women should never apologize for again. Is it setting boundaries, taking up space, saying no, or choosing themselves first?
I think it's between A and C. They kind of go together, but
They do. Yeah.
Maybe A.
So a lot of people said C. I think that
okay.
was the overall kind of winner. And then, choosing themselves first was probably our second most popular answer. But yeah, I think it all kind of revolves around this idea of like boundaries and limited access, and like sort of battling this idea of like entitlement that men have to our presence, our time, our bodies, etc. Like setting boundaries around that, I think is a really good thing to stop apologizing for sure. So we will be back next week with Dr. Kate, and we'll be talking all about sex again. So I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. And like I said, the episode with Dr. Kate will sort of be a follow-up, hopefully, where we can sort of present the more positive side, or kind of like a way forward with everything that we discussed today. So we'll see you then, and have a great rest of your week. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.